Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. The Octa research team says that ICU bed occupancy remains high despite a downward trend in the number of COVID-19 cases. Dr. Jose De Grano, president of the Private Hospitals Association of the Philippines, or PHAPI, is here to help us make further sense of that. Good afternoon, Doc. Dr. De Grano, Octa says that the reason for a high ICU bed occupancy is because those that are in the ICU are generally in the hospital longer. Are there other factors that we can attribute to this high occupancy rate?
Yes, the reason there is, of course, the patients at the intensive care unit usually stay there for more than a month, maybe 2 months. And of course, in the bigger hospitals, they did not actually increase the number of ICU beds. As far as I know, only the government facilities were able to increase or expand their ICU beds, but not the big hospitals, because it's not easy to expand the ICU facilities because you'll be needing, aside from the staff, additional equipment which are not easy to get. No.
That's right. But is there any plan to increase ICU bed capacity, seeing that it's been a year already, Dr. De Grano, that we've been under the pandemic, and it seems like, every now and then there is a new strain or there is an outbreak. Are there plans among private hospitals to expand bed occupancy rates, as well as, of course, what this also entails, like extra healthcare workers and equipment?
Yes, it should be easy if you think about it, but the problem is it takes a lot of investment aside from the number of staff that is really needed, because the nursing staff there is 1:1 or even 2:1, so it's not really easy to expand the intensive care units.
But overall, Dr. Grano, I just want to know, in terms of private hospitals, has the occupancy rates in general gone down since last month?
Yes, I think it has gone down by around at least around 10% by since last month. But they are the cases which are more of the moderate cases or moderate to severe cases.
Going down by 10% within the last month, with ECQ or MECQ rather imposed in different forms, of course. Doc, is that enough for the healthcare system to be unburdened enough?
We need to have the continuous downtrend, and if that will continually go down, then probably that would be okay. But we still are having still more or less a plateau. It's still on around 6,000 to 7,000 cases per day. So it has not really gone down very low or continuously gone down.
Having said that, you're in favor of this MECQ flex extension until the middle of the month, I'm guessing?
Yes, sure. I think that should be proper, and even after until the end of the month. But of course, that's for them to decide.
All right. Now let's shift over the conversation to variants. We have this new variant from India that everyone around the world is watching closely. So what do we know so far about the Indian variant of COVID-19?
Well, what they say is really very infectious. So I think we should really be prepared for that, because what I know, I don't know, but this is not really based on facts yet. But they say that it's really very virulent, and that's why a lot of people has died in India.
All right, so something definitely that we should monitor closely. Now, do you also agree?
We should.
Yeah, with the vaccine
Yes.
with the vaccine czar's move to prioritize the NCR as well as other high-risk areas for vaccination, does that sound like a good plan to you, sir?
Well, of course, because NCR has the highest number of cases, and of course, if you want to kill the snake, then you have to hit it on the head. So, NCR, Calabarzon, and then Region 3, they have the very high number of cases, so we should concentrate especially at the NCR.
And finally, Dr. De Grano, the president finally received his jab. He received the Sinopharm jab. Do you think this is good news in terms of vaccine confidence?
Well, I think it is. If they see that our president has undergone the vaccination, then probably, all his followers will then be convinced, if they are not convinced yet, to get the vaccine.
All right, then in general, have you observed like an improvement in terms of vaccine confidence, within hospitals? Yeah.
Probably not yet. We'll see in the next coming week. Okay.
All right, we'll see, I guess, when the majority of the vaccines get here. Thank you, as usual, for your time.
Okay.
Dr. Jose De Grano of the Private Hospitals Association of the Philippines, or PHAPI.
Thank you.
In other news, the National Kidney Transplant Institute, or NKTI, is set to open a new hemodialysis facility for COVID-19 patients. Gerard De La Peña is on the ground in Quezon City to give us the highlights. Hi, Gerard. What do you have for us?
That's right, Sean. The Public Works Department has officially turned over this off-site modular hemodialysis facility here at the NKTI compound in Quezon City. Late last year, the government has decided that it will build modular hospitals just in case that there is a surge in COVID-19 cases, just like what we are experiencing right now. It will now be used by COVID-19 patients who regularly undergo hemodialysis. The hospital management says the additional facility is a big help in decongesting the NKTI. This as some patients get their treatment inside tents installed at the hospital's driveway. The NKTI notes that there are many standalone dialysis centers in the country, but many of them do not accept COVID-19 patients. That's why they go to government facilities instead. The facility can accommodate 60 patients a day on top of the NKTI's daily capacity of 100 dialysis patients. The center also includes 16 air-conditioned dormitory rooms for 32 healthcare workers attending to COVID-19 patients. Public Works Secretary Mark Villar says more modular facilities are up for turnover within the month, which will provide various hospitals with additional capacity of up to 300 beds. For health officials, this will be a big help as hospitals in the NCR are still over 90% full. Sean, this facility inside the NKTI compound will be ready to serve patients later this month or early in June after calibration and preparation of equipment such as dialysis machines and the air filtration system inside, among others. Sean.
Thank you for that update and stay safe over there. That was News 5's Gerard De La Peña joining us live from Quezon City. We'll have more stories after this quick break. Keep it here. You are still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. The Health Department recorded close to 5,700 new COVID-19 cases on Wednesday. And this has brought the total caseload to more than 1,073,000 with 62,000 active cases. Today's 178 confirmed fatalities has pushed the death toll to 17,800. On the other hand, total recoveries are now at 993,000 after 9,000 new recoveries were logged in the last 24 hours. And in economics, inflation was unchanged from March, clocking in at 4.5% in April. Despite remaining flat, the figure is still above the government's target range of 2 to 4%. Shyla Francisco is with us live from Taguig to break down this print for us. Shyla, what were the key inflationary factors cited by the government?
Sean, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas attributes the elevated inflation to supply pressures. This as high meat prices continue to be a top contributor to last month's inflation rate. Inflation in April settled at 4.5%, the same level in March. This is more than double year on year and higher than the government's target range of 2 to 4%. The Philippine Statistics Authority explained that the lifting of the price ceiling on meat products may have led to the increase in inflation. According to the PSA's monitoring, pork inflation was lower during the imposition of price ceiling. Aside from meat, higher prices of fish, transportation fare, as well as fuel and petroleum products, meals and personal hygiene products were recorded last month. The agency also observed that fees for hospital services were up due to higher demand. Despite the higher inflation, the rate for the bottom 30% income households, or nearly 18 million people, actually decreased from 5.5% to 4.9% last month. PSA said that this group seems to be buying more vegetables, which are cheaper than pork, resulting in a decrease in the overall inflation. Here's what the PSA has to say on last month's inflation.
Ang medyo talagang patuloy na pagtaas, siguro expected natin talaga ay yung meat inflation. So in the next few months, unless there are intervention, we see that this would continue to go up. So as I mentioned, this contributes also to the inflation.
Sean, the BSP is banking on the temporary lowering of tariffs for pork imports to ease inflation in the coming months. The central bank expects inflation rate to settle close to the midpoint target range of 2 to 4% by 2022. Sean?
All right, thank you for that update. That was Shyla Francisco joining us live from the city of Taguig. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.